Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into PTV World. You watching World this morning, alongside the very amazing, the very spiritual Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello, Shiza. How are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely great. Thank you so much for asking. And what's with this spiritual?
I think that these days everybody's on a very spiritual journey, and
That's
I
true.
think that it is for everybody to figure out, where their final destination is in terms of this spiritual journey as well. And I think that Ramadan is one of those months with all of those fruits which Allah is going to give to us, and Allah has promised for us too as well.
Yeah.
But on the same side, ladies and gentlemen, I think it helps a lot of people to kind of realize and then visualize about their spiritual journey as well, because you're indulged in it 24/7. The environment around you, the ambience around you, it pretty much pushes you as well. And I think that for all of those people who are on a very spiritual journey, are people who are very content with their life, are people who are very happy, are people who realize that this world is not going to last forever.
Absolutely. And Shazad, do you realize amidst this COVID-19 situation and everything, there's a new normal that we are looking forward to, when things, of course, when the lockdown goes down and people can go out again, things won't be the same. The life won't be the same. Of course, things will be normal, but that will be the new normal. And we don't know what we're looking forward to yet. But the funny thing is, well, let's talk about Eid though. Of course, just yesterday I was discussing with someone. I think you and I actually were discussing about Eid and what we're going to do in terms of our show as well. And then we realized that even the sentiments that we have for Eid, even after coming out of Ramadan, won't be the same, because our heart goes out to all the people who have been suffering through this situation as well, who loved ones have been suffering, or whose friends have been suffering. So, well, all my prayers for you as well, all my love for you as well. Other than that, Shazad, COVID-19 actually brought about so many different spectra of changes to so many different people in so many different nations as well. Funny thing, actually, while there are a lot of people who may be suffering with or, going through food insecurity as well, in Belgium, actually, the government advised the nation to eat fries twice a week because there is a surplus of potatoes. Wow. It's a funny thing, but also, I mean, one of the, let's say, dimensions of COVID-19 that's coming forward. Belgium is very famous for the frito fries that it makes, and everyone who's been there, they know that there's a long queue of people waiting just to have those fries. So they produce a lot of potatoes. And because of the lockdown, no one's going out or buying all those things, so there's a surplus, and the government wants people to finish it. Well, it's again interesting and ironic to watch how some people might be dying with food insecurity, and while the other have.
And then at the same time, for all of those Muslims in Belgium, who are actually fasting, and then they're actually looking at people eating fries all day long, I think that that'll be very disturbing. But not just that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that there's a lot more which we need to put our focus to, and I'm very sorry, but I think that I'll have to say this as well. I was in a process where I was thinking whether I should be saying it on television or not, but I think that it's about time that I should, and I raised this concern as well. Ladies and gentlemen, since it's, these are testing times and everybody's busy looking after themselves to protect themselves from coronavirus. So let's not forget that there are other million people who have other diseases as well. And so one of my nephew happens to be diabetic. He's 9 years old, and my sister actually went to Shaheen Chemist in I-8 Markaz. I'm going to be very specific about it because, otherwise, obviously it can have a lot of repercussions as well. So we've got the receipts and everything. She went to buy insulin, she bought insulin, she got back home, she injected her son with insulin as well. And, after a day, she kind of realized that her son's not that active and he's not really responding to whatever activities he was doing or already was involved in. So what she did was that after 2 days' time, she actually checked whether his sugar levels were normal. Well, they weren't. The sugar was very high. And then she went back to actually find the box where insulin was packed in, and then she looked at the box, the insulin was expired.
Oh, God.
And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that first of all, it is very dangerous to actually have, for a mother to not know in the first place that her kid's sugar was so high. And then on the other, I think what it is for the pharmacists to properly have an SOP in place as well. Or I do, because see, this is one thing. I might get a little aggressive, and it's because of the fact that it's my nephew, but it might have been anybody else. I think the response would have been same. Ladies and gentlemen, lives are very important. These days, I think everybody is pledging or taking precautionary measures so that they can save their life. How can a pharmacy actually put somebody's life in danger? And I think that strict action needs to be taken. I've actually said it to my sister as well, that she really needs to go and complain, and then we'll take it forward from there. But ladies and gentlemen, if you you know, these days a lot of people are going to a lot of pharmacies.
Yeah.
Wherever you are and whichever pharmacy you're going to, please make sure that you check for the expiry dates as well. In fact, scratch the expiry dates, because there's one more underneath that. So please just keep an eye on that too as well. And yeah, the rest we will definitely deal with them according to the law.
I think it's the right thing you did, Shazad spoke about them, because the culprits need to be brought to book as well, because this is not something so small. I mean, imagine the kid is just 9 years old to be going through something like that and then being given an expired medicine as well. Exactly. This message is particularly important in these times as well, because a lot of people, while staying at home, are ordering their medicines online, or telemedicine services are going on as well. So you just call them, tell them what you need. So we're not sure where those medicines are coming from. We're not sure about their expiry date as well. So please, please, please be sure before taking in anything that you have ordered.
Exactly. And the sole reason why we brought this to your notice is that, you know, ladies and gentlemen, since everybody's so busy with COVID-19 and all of what is going, I think that people are putting in less focus, or people are actually putting in less effort on something other than that as well. So please make sure that you're very careful of that, because these pharmacies, I don't think that they are actually looking into it as well that closely as well.
It's a business.
Yes, and just a few years ago, or probably a year ago, we could see that, you know, there were these pharmacies which were actually shut down for a fact. Right. That they were actually bringing in a lot of multivitamins, and they were open.
Fake.
They were fake, and you know, they didn't have any expiry dates as well. They weren't even packed properly. So yeah, just be careful. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think there's another side of the picture too as well, and that picture is that we have a lot of people who are working to help a lot of other people as well. There are a lot of people who are helping to feed a lot of other people as well, and there's this enormous amount of reward which Allah will definitely be bestowing upon them as well.
Yeah,
but not just that, ladies and gentlemen, when it's the month of Ramadan, we fast, you know, we do not eat for so long, we do not drink water for so long. There must be some bigger rewards for us as well. So what is the fruit, or probably let me put it this way as well, what kind of fruit does Ramadan bear for all of us as well, is something which we actually wanted to discuss today, and then followed by some very common questions which we have had on our Facebook page as well. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we definitely have one of our very favorites. I want to refer to him as a lovely as well, and it's because of the fact that he's one of the lovelies of our program as well, ladies and gentlemen. He's none other than Mr. Imran Sandhu, a religious scholar himself. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. And the best news, ladies and gentlemen, is that he's going to be with us till this Friday. So we have got 2 more days after this one as well. But not just that, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know that in Ramadan, we start our day with Naat, alhamdulillah. So we have been joined by somebody very amazing. He's been a regular too as well. Every Ramadan we get to see him. He's none other than Mr. Sahibzada Khilji as well. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Walaikum salam.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you. क्या सुनाएंगे आज आप?
आज बहुत ही एक प्यारे शायर हैं नफीसुल रहमान साहब, उनका मैं आज एक कलाम आपको सुनाऊंगा.
ज़रूर, बिस्मिल्लाह.
समात कीजिए. ए रसूले अमीन खातमुल मुरसलीन तुझसा कोई नहीं, तुझसा कोई नहीं, ए रसूले अमीन खातमुल मुरसलीन तुझसा कोई नहीं, तुझसा कोई नहीं, है अकीदा ये अपना बसिद को यकीन तुझसा कोई नहीं, तुझसा कोई नहीं, ए रसूले अमीन. दस्ते कुदरत ने ऐसा बनाया तुझे, जुमला साफ से खुद सजाया तुझे, ए अज़ल के हसीं اے ابد کے ہنسی تجھ سا کوئی نہیں، تجھ سا کوئی نہیں، اے رسول امین، تیرا سکہ رواں کل جہاں میں ہوا، اس زمین میں ہوا، آسمان میں ہوا، کیا عرب کیا عجم سب ہیں زیر نگیں، تجھ سا کوئی نہیں، تجھ سا کوئی نہیں، اے رسول امین، اے سراپا نفیس انفس دو جہاں، سرور سروراں، دل برے عاشقاں، ڈھونڈتی ہیں تجھے میری جانیں خزیں، تجھ سا کوئی نہیں، تجھ سا کوئی نہیں، اے رسول امین، خاتم المرسلین، تجھ سا کوئی نہیں، تجھ سا کوئی نہیں، ہے عقیدہ یہ اپنا بصد کو یقین، تجھ سا کوئی نہیں، تجھ سا کوئی نہیں، اے رسول امین۔
Thank you very much for such a lovely answer. And to get started with the conversation now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a surprise question for Imran Sandhu Saab, and then we'll definitely be talking about the fruits which are actually being bared by Ramadan as well. So, sir, in the first place, you know, for every religious cleric, for every Maulana, for every person who's actually a religious scholar, why do they have to be in an attire like yours?
Like why I have to dress like that? Well, to everything there's a norm.
Yeah.
And I would say that having a identity as a student of knowledge,
Yes.
as a talib ilm, we normally dress like that.
Wow.
So it's our way of dressing up.
Because ever since, you know, I was seeing people and religious scholars and people who are actually the students of knowledge as well. You know, there was always this curiosity which made me think that, you know, why do they wear these dresses? I mean, if you go in Saudi Arabia and if you see everybody's wearing a jubba, you know, that's fine. But over here it's very different. You know, people according to the norm wear shalwar kameez or probably a waistcoat. But all of this, you know, this obviously it is the norm and you're following that. That's wonderful. But why in the first place?
Well, because I really feel comfortable in it.
Okay.
Okay.
Like I used to wear, coat, pant and shirt.
Yeah.
And those were the days, I would say.
Yeah.
Right.
As there's a song as well. Those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end.
Never end.
But they ended.
Yeah.
And now I've got this new norm, this new, get up and everything. But I really feel comfortable in it.
It's
That's
wonderful.
great, as long as you're comfortable as well,
Yeah.
and as long as you look great, which you do.
Yeah, and if
All
it's
right.
that comfortable, I will actually borrow it from him as well, and give it a try one day.
Probably
So it's fabulous.
we'll have
yes.
you do that on the show as well. But now
Maybe your people at home would say that you've become a Maulvi.
Let them say, there are so many people who say so many things. We shouldn't be listening to everyone.
And
right?
nowadays, it's not very easy to be a Maulvi.
Well, obviously everything comes with its own fruits as well, but right now since we're talking about Ramadan and its fruits, so Shida, do you want to shoot the question?
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
So here's the thing, Sandhu Sahab, we have been given this month, Alhamdulillah. But there's no way that our Creator, so merciful, is actually, planned this month for us. It's sort of, a hard time for people who do fast as well, without any extra rewards. I'm pretty sure there are so many of them multiplied by 70 or even more. So let us know about all of them. One neki that we do, anything nice that we do for people, or the fast that we keep, or the prayers that we do, everything.
So what are the fruits of Ramadan? So first of all, the biggest fruit that Ramadan has brought us is Quran.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
The biggest fruit. Because, the basic necessity of a human being is that he is guided on the right path.
Okay.
And Quran says in Surah Baqarah, Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran. This Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed from the seventh sky to the first sky, all of in one place, and then it was revealed slowly to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That the first ascent was in Ramadan.
Okay.
So this was the biggest gift to the mankind,
Of
because
course.
Quran is the book of guidance, and in this very ayah Allah says, Hudal lin nas, not for human like Muslims only, but Hudal lin nas.
Mankind.
It is guidance. It contains guidance for humanity. And then bayinat min al huda, and then there are ayahs or things that Quran tells openly, which guides people, like where did the mountains come from, where did the skies come from, who created those skies, all those answers that no human being could have answered from his own intellect.
Exactly.
Right. For example, I'll tell you an example. If this is a table that is in front of us,
Yeah.
if I ask you what is the color of the table, what is the shape of the table, what is the surface of this table, you'd very easily define it through your five senses.
Right.
And then if I ask you that who made this table, you would say a carpenter. And this is where your intellect ends. And if I ask you, if I ask anyone what was the name of this carpenter, perhaps nobody would be able to answer this question. What was the name? Unless or until he writes his name over there, or sends, somebody knows that he made this. So this Quran also tells us that who made this universe.
Yeah, beautiful.
And when it was made and why it was made, who is the creator of humanity. So this is the biggest gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the humanity.
Of course.
It tells us why we are created, what we should do, and all that happened in Ramadan.
And since all of these questions are popping up, so let's subject them or let's address them as well. So, for example, I think that this is a question which revolves around in a lot of heads, and it is that why are we even here? So let's start with that, because you just said that as well, because that we are given this gift, and the Quran tells us who our Creator is. So let's discuss why are we over here on this planet?
A very good question. In Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides us. He says that وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created mankind and the jinns other than for the purpose that they should recognize me as their creator.
Worship.
And worship me.
Yeah.
Right? Ibad is, of course, we are the slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are creators and we are slaves. And being a creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah wants us to spend our life in a way that is peaceful. That is why He named this religion as Islam. So why we are created? So that we remain peaceful and we recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as our creator and do whatever He orders us to do through His messengers or through the message that is Quran.
All right, and one last thing in connection to that, I'm very sorry.
No
and
problem.
so I don't know whether I should be asking this question, but if it is in me, I think that I should. It would be out there in a lot of other heads as well. So, did someone ask us before we were born that, okay, are you willing to go to this planet, or are you willing to be born onto Earth, or something of that? Did somebody ask our soul, or did somebody, was because, or are we born with our own choice, or we're not?
Definitely, we are not born with our own choice.
Okay.
It is the decision that lies with the Creator Himself.
Okay.
Rather, a very interesting discussion took place between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
Yep.
and the malaika, the angels,
Yes.
at the advent of creation of Adam alayhi salam.
Yeah.
When Adam was created from dust, from soil, from
Clay.
earth,
Yep.
clay. So he said he expressed himself to the angels. إني وإذ قال ربك للملائكة إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة. Look, I am creating my vice. I've created Adam, and I am making my vice servant. The Malaika said, أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس لك. You are they asked a question. Why are you creating them? We already do all kinds of worship.
Yeah.
Right.
Why? What is the reason? And from our experience, it implies that from our experience, because they had experienced a creation of jinns before.
Yeah.
All right.
So they asked a very pertinent that they would go and fight with each other. They would shed blood. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said and replies in a very logical fashion to them, and said that I know, you know not what I know. Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun. And then what he did, he made Adam do a presentation. What happened was there were certain things, objects over there somewhere in front of everyone.
Yep.
The Malaika were there, and even Iblis was there,
Right.
and everybody was there
Yeah.
watching. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught the names of those things to everyone,
Right.
to the Malaika, to Adam alayhi salam, and to the
Satan.
Jinnat as well. And then asked a question, what are the names of those things? Nobody could
Recall them.
reproduce those names.
Okay.
Only Adam alayhi salam did reproduce this. This means that there is a sense of learning that was put inside of Adam alayhi salam, and in our inheritance, because we are children of Adam, those things are still there, that we can learn by way of observation, we can learn by way of intellectual
That's Ashraful Makhluqat.
yeah, and then we can also read, and we can also write, and we can also communicate like no other.
So we were
creature can do.
equipped.
So we were very well equipped to handle this thing.
Okay.
Although we did a little,
All right. But Santu Sahab, I do realize we have to talk about the fruits of Ramadan, but since the discussion is
Yeah, why
headed
not?
in this
Why not?
direction,
Go
I have
ahead.
so
with
many
him,
questions going
with
on.
him,
so-
we cannot remain on the road.
Exactly. But that's a good thing, because we're discovering so many things
Yeah.
as well. But Santu Sahab, where you said that, of course, we are the creations, and we need to realize that we have been produced to worship and to sort of fulfill a purpose, that we have to realize that there's a God, and alhamdulillah, we do. But my question, please don't mind my ignorance if I don't know the right answer as well. When we know that we were produced to worship and to realize the presence of Allah, why do we have a conscience?
That's an interesting question.
Okay.
I think conscience is being equipped.
This is something to do with I believe it's a deeper question that has something to do with taqdeer.
Yeah.
Fate and
Destiny.
Destiny, fate.
There are two kinds of taqdeer.
Okay.
Taqdeer mubram and taqdeer muallaq.
Okay.
okay.
We and with this conscience we can change our destiny.
All right.
That is why we are given destiny. Like there are certain things that are written beforehand.
Yeah.
Like when we'll be born,
Or
when we'll
yeah.
die, what we'll, you know,
Or who
do,
will marry.
or who will marry, who will
whom
be
you
our
have
children,
married.
and everything. That is known as taqween.
Exactly.
The taqweeni part of taqween, kun fayakun. And then there is the tashri, that is the road, the straight, the decision making process.
Okay.
With a good intention or with a bad intention. If we remain through our conscience in good intentions, we would always come through, we'll always come on a crossroad. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give us 2 or 3 or 4 options.
Right.
It is going to come. فَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ. I'll always give them the right path and the wrong path. This is right and this is wrong. And then the intention is going to come into play. If we are good, we have good intentions, we are going to do the right decision.
Exactly, and that's a wonderful answer as well. And ladies and gentlemen,
brilliant.
I think I have a compliment over here for Imran Sandhu Sahab as well. And the compliment is that, you know, we've actually done more than half of the show over here. And we just realized that, you know, the time's just flying by as well. So let's very quickly come back to the fruits of Ramadan and address that before the time's over, please.
Yeah, so there is a hadith, a beautiful hadith, I would say. And this hadith tells us about what are the fruits of Ramadan.
Okay.
And Prophet, you know, in the month before Ramadan, you know, when Ramadan was nearing up, Prophet said these words. He said, Ramadana, look what is Ramadan, Shahrun Adimun. It is a very great month.
Yeah.
Shahrun fihi laylatun. In this month is a layla, that is night.
Yeah.
A night. Khairum min alfi shahr. Look at the gift that we will have in this Ramadan. In this night is better than how many months? 1,000 months of ibadah.
Oh,
1,000 months. And if we calculate it, it's somewhere between 84 years of ibadah.
Oh.
So just one night of ibadah,
More than our entire life.
and it gives you one. So if you, for example, after your balugha, you know, you spend your life like 50 years, you have a ticket of the Jannah, ticket of the paradise.
Wow.
You keep that thing in mind, and you know, you do this ibadah in this night, and if you live 50 years of balugha, 50 multiplied by 84 years.
Wow.
So how many? So this is the kind of mercy, and this is the kind of the gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordains us for us in Ramadan.
Beautiful.
In this hadith, Allah says, Ja'alallahu siyamahu faridatan. In this month, I have ordered you to do fasts. Wa qiyama laylihi tatawwu'an. And standing at night and praying tahajjud and qiyamul layl and tirawi in the night, that is something that is sunnah, or not obligatory, but that is recommended by sunnah.
All right.
Sunnah al-mu'akkida. Man taqarraba fihi bi khaslatin min al-khayri kana kaman adda faridatan fiha sawa. If anybody who does the obligatory acts, prayers and everything in this Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it go 70 times.
Wow.
Gives 70 times of
The reward.
I'm sorry, if not an obligatory, rather a voluntary ibadah, it is rewarded as a fard. And if somebody does a farz in this Ramadan, an obligatory ibadah, it is rewarded 70 times. Allah, Prophet said that وَمَنْ أَدَّى فَرِيدَةً فِيهِ كَانَ كَمَنْ أَدَّى سَبْعِينَ فَرِيدَةً. Like 70 times it is rewarded. So, look at this. For a normal Muslim, every deed is multiplied by 10. And then in Ramadan, that was multiplied by 10 or sometimes 70 according to the ikhlas. It is then again multiplied by 70.
Wow.
And then not only this, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Sawm is for me, and its reward is upon me. For normal days, I give it to 10 times, in Ramadan 70 times, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give more fruits and multiply it by billions even. Depending upon your ikhlas.
Okay,
So Jibreel Amin, actually, let me complete this.
Yeah, sure.
In a discussion with Jibreel Amin, Prophet was quite concerned with the people who would not spend Ramadan doing worship and all these things.
All right.
And they were very hard words. I would not, go into the details of that. But that person is really, really very unfortunate, who is not able to use this time of the year to get everything forgone, all these sins forgone.
Or have a bungalow in heaven, or or make sure that Allah is actually very happy with him or her as well. But sir, the question over here is, so since we are talking about fruits of Ramadan, so for whatever you've told us, for example, if somebody's ikhlaq is very nice, if somebody speaks the truth, even in general life, over the period of years and years and years, he or she is a good person. So do you think that the same will apply on to whatever she's doing during Ramadan, and obviously all of these things will be rewarded in a higher manner?
Definitely, when you stop eating, when you're like in Ramadan, you stop your desires even in Ramadan, the level of taqwa, God consciousness increases.
Yeah.
And this is a practice for whole of the year. We've discussed this before.
Yeah.
Right.
But my advice or my take would be that we should always keep our eyes on the fruits that we have to get from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You work for PTV, you get your reward at the end of the month. I don't know you get
Sometimes.
it or not.
When I'm not on leave, I do. Yes.
So whole of the month you've got this thing in your mind. The same thing should apply to a Muslim, to a human being, that at the end of his life, there are two kinds of sawms or fasting. One fast is just for these 30 days, and one fast is for life, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He stops you to do certain activities over here in Ramadan, He stopped you to do certain activities out of Ramadan as well.
Exactly.
Right.
Of course.
And it's a refreshal course anyways.
So over there, the sunrise is, for a Muslim, the sunrise is when he gets into bulugha. And for a non-Muslim, when he converts or reverts to Islam, the sunrise is when he's going to keep a fast when he converts to Islam. And the sunset is when you go out from this world.
Exactly.
So the lesson that we should take, and there is another hadith that is coming into my mind, and it says man sama, and there is another version to it, man qama, whosoever fasts or stands at night Ramadana, in Ramadan, imanan, with the faith in the heart, and ihtisaman, this is very important, with the urge to get rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with a yaqeen. غُفِرَ لَهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِهِ. All of his sins, great sins, big sins, gunah kabira, are forgiven.
Oh wow, beautiful.
Look at this, zamb, according to the scholars of Islam. So now question arises, how can it be forgiven without Toba? So whosoever fasts with God consciousness, with taqwa, the second thing he would do would Toba.
Right.
That I'm not going to repeat those things again.
Exactly.
And then there are other details.
And that's the point of Toba as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But Sandhu Sahib, I have sort of a different question. I hope this is in line with this as well. You know how we've been hearing ever since we were children, and this is true, of course, that as soon as Ramadan starts, the Satan or Shaitan has been chained. It's locked, and it no more sort of interferes in your planning, in your mind, and in your activities as well. My question is, regardless, although it is chained, yes,
it's you.
Some people tend to have some negativities in them and sort of, commit, I want to say, hurtful deeds to other people as well. let me give an example of me so that you people can relate as well. Although I do believe that the Satanist change, there will be times even when I'm fasting that I get angry. You know what I mean?
Everybody does.
And anger is not something good, right?
It's an emotion.
So my question is, when we know that the Satan is chained, still we commit some sort of wrong deeds as well. I feel like there's a deeper, or rather, I want to say subliminal message to the Satan being chained as well. Is this sort of a harder test for our own conscience than that probably we are the Satan as well? I mean, we are the ones who...
But this is a longer debate then, you know, we cannot finish it like this.
Of course I get it, but I just want sort of an answer that to, if there is a deeper meaning to the Satan being chained.
Yes. So,
Good one.
you know, there are different tabir to this thing. Yes,
Right.
Satan is chained. You know how it is chained? Two things that normally are animal instincts
Yeah.
that are common in us and in the animals.
Okay.
They eat and we eat,
Yeah.
right? And they get intimate and we get intimate.
But like this, they breathe, we breathe as well.
We breathe. So
They,
these
they
are
reproduce, we reproduce as
but
well.
these are the two main things
Okay.
that that we and animals are very in common, like,
Okay.
and there's lots of urge to it as well, right? So when these two things go to a cap, they are
Okay.
capped for us for a certain period of time. The Satan attack would definitely be less and less and less and less. So
The more you protect yourself, the more you are indulged into
But
the
the sa-
process of getting closer to Allah, the more you will go away from this
yeah,
Satan.
it brings you closer to Allah. Satan is chained, but then again, before Ramadan, there's definitely a relationship between Satan, the devil, and us as well.
Yeah.
The more friendship we have with the Satan, the more relationship we have with Satan, the more fatter we get. The appetite becomes too, and then we go into a momentum.
Exactly.
It becomes our habit.
Yeah, that's true.
There is saying that in Urdu, tabiyat nahi shariyat.
Okay.
Like what not our desires, but what Allah has desired for us.
Exactly.
So because of the momentum and because of our relationship, when we enter Ramadan, we sometimes get habitual in sinning.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is why we don't stop with a break. Rather, it becomes easier for us to stop bad habits.
So it's actually the habit we have developed over time.
It becomes our part of the personality. It is the second part of the personality.
All
Exactly.
right.
It is the conscious that is like human being is made up of, created of a body, a mind, and a soul.
Yeah.
Right.
So the body gets habitual to sins.
Okay.
Our mind get habitual to sins. Similarly, our soul gets weaker and weaker and habitual to sins. So the momentum continues, but when Ramadan comes, that momentum is easier to stop because of two animal instincts that we have foregone.
Oh, beautiful. That's
Well,
actually very...
and that's beautifully put as well, and it's very relevant as well, ladies and gentlemen. But very quickly, one last thing, sir, before we move on to Sahibzada sir, we're very short on time, so the answer needs to be brief. We have a lot more other questions that people have actually sent us over our Facebook pages as well, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do them tomorrow. But sir, very quickly, and that is that since we were talking about ibadah, since we were talking about getting closer to Allah, since we were talking about reaping the fruits which Ramadan bears for us as well, so does it really have to be, on the prayer mat? Or you're done with your ablution, you're on your bed, you're thinking, you're talking to Allah Almighty, and you're like, Allah Mia, this is what I want. So, do you think that there needs to be some way of ibadah to ask for things, or generally, just sitting like this, do you think that I can actually have a heart-to-heart conversation with Allah Almighty? Because that's what I do. But in the eyes of other people, very quickly, people think that it needs to be done the way it's normally done, or the way you said, that it's a norm to wear clothes like these for people who are religious scholars. So is it a norm, or is it like an individual thing that, okay, Allah Mia, namaz, we're doing it 5 times, but if I need to ask, I can ask you for
Anytime,
that on my bed,
So a very interesting question. It needs
very quickly.
a bit of time.
Oh.
So there are two kinds of worships.
Or what we can do is that we can keep it for tomorrow.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
let's do it.
Can we keep it for tomorrow?
Yeah, let's do it.
Suspense.
Let's
So
pass it over to tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yes,
all
of
right,
course.
ladies and gentlemen. So this, and then we have a lot more other questions which we need to discuss tomorrow. Inshallah, we'll definitely do that. And this
And
was
we're so
something.
grateful.
Yeah. This is something which is relevant for everyone. You know, for everybody. You know, every time we are stressed, every time we are happy. You know, we say Shukr Alhamdulillah. We say thank you Allah. Oh Allah mia, we need this. I mean, I talk like a baby with
Yeah,
Allah
I
Almighty.
understand.
Allah mia, please, yeah. You know, so something of that sort. So I think this is something which we need to ask.
Please, yeah.
Maulana Sahib has actually said that, you know, that we'll do it tomorrow, and that he was about to say that there are two ways of doing it as well. So very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, I think that this was one of the most exciting live episodes of World This Morning as well, where
I
we
like
got
it.
to learn so much a lot as well. Shiza, do you want to say something?
Yes, of course. We're so grateful that actually Sandhu Sahib has been able to join us every other morning,
Thank you.
especially in the first Ashra. We don't know about the rest. We'll see. Check his schedule as well, because this is so enlightening for Shahzad and myself as well. Very quickly, we're going to tell you where you can give us your feedback or your questions, because tomorrow we're going to throw a lot of questions on to Sandhu Sahib as well. On our Facebook page with the name of,
World This Morning is on your television screens.
yes, on Twitter,
World This Morning without G.
on YouTube,
World This Morning.
PTV
After
World.
PTV World, yes.
Absolutely. And the repeat you can catch
5
at.
past 11 p.m. tonight. Till the next time, ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves. And for everyone who's out there in 46 different countries, please make sure that you remember us all in your prayers, our
Yes,
entire team.
please do.
Over here. Sahibzada Sahib, over to you.
کیا خبر کیا سزا مجھ کو ملتی میرے آقا نے عزت بچا لی فرد اسیاں میری مجھ سے لے کر کالی کملی میں اپنی چھپا لی وہ عطا پر عطا کرنے والے اور ہم بھی نہیں ٹلنے والے اور ہم بھی نہیں ٹلنے والے جیسی جھوڑی ہے ویسے بیکاری جیسا داتا ہے ویسے سوالی کیا خبر کیا سزا مجھ کو ملتی میرے آقا نے عزت بچا لی میں گدا ہوں مگر کس کے در کا وہ جو سلطان کونوں مکاں ہیں یہ غلامی بڑی مستند ہے میرے سر پر ہے تاج بلالی یہ غلامی بڑی مستند ہے میرے سر پر ہے تاج بلالی میری عمر رواں اب ٹھہر جا اب سفر کی ضرورت نہیں ہے ان کے قدموں میں میری جبیں ہے اور ہاتھوں میں روزے کی جالی ان کے قدموں میں میری جبیں ہے اور ہاتھوں میں روزے کی جالی